As drone strikes fade in Pakistan, they're picking up elsewhere. So says Morris Davis, former chief prosecutor for the U.S. government at Guantanamo Bay. He's now a professor at Howard University.
I think it's going to change a bit, particularly with Afghanistan, where President Obama brought the war to an end officially at the end of the year, but we've left a contingent of troops behind, primarily for training. So take those troops off the field, and you've got to replace that with something, and it's likely to be with drone coverage. In fact, if you look, the pace of drone attacks increased in the latter half of 2014, and I would expect that to continue into 2015. You're likely to see it increase as well in Yemen as a result of the attacks in Paris and the desire to go after the masterminds of that. So I think it's going to be 2015 is likely to be a busy year for the drone program.
In Pakistan, there's been diminished numbers when you look at mass civilian casualties. Is that because the strikes are getting more effective? Is it because there's less strikes? What do we read into that?
Well, I think there's been a lot of criticism of the collateral damage. Now, certainly, taking out a bad guy, I think most people would agree is a good thing. But often in the course of trying to do that, there are bystanders, and it seems that in many cases there's the argument that for every one bad guy we get, we create 10 more. And I think another reason, I think we've hit a lot of the targets already. So I think it's becoming more of a challenge to find targets to hit, and I think we're using more discretion in choosing to engage those targets.
But you don't see any backing away from it. I mean, there are clearly people here in Washington who feel that it is effective.
Well, it certainly is effective in engaging targets without putting U.S. troops at risk. But I think if you look at the totality of where we are in 2015, has it really been effective? The trillions of dollars that we've spent taking these wars overseas, have we really achieved our objective? A lot of the troops involved in the drone program are getting worn out, and we're having a problem now with filling the billets to operate the drone program. So it seems that the program right now is stretched pretty thin, and they're really having some difficulty trying to fill the pipeline to keep this program going.
It's not a video game. I mean, it's real, and there are the repercussions of that, which is PTSD. I mean, some of these people end up with PTSD, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the public has this image that any 15-year-old kid with an Xbox can sit in his boxer shorts on his couch and do this, and that's not the case. I mean, it's a manpower-intensive effort launching and maintaining these programs. And a number of the people involved in it, have had some real difficulty. In fact, some have said they'd rather be deployed. Send them over to the combat zone for 3 or 4 months where they're focused, they're in that war mindset, rather than you get up in the morning and you have breakfast with your kids, and then you go for 10 hours and engage in hostilities, and then you come back home and have dinner. This going in and out and in and out takes a toll, as well as I think one of the things that the public probably overlooks as well. I mean, many times these targets have been surveilled for months, where the drone operators have tracked these people, they've seen where they go, they've seen the people that they're with, they've seen their families, and you develop, it's not just some innocuous, the enemy troop on the other side of the battlefield we have no connection with. Over a period of months, weeks or months, they've developed this personal connection that they then take out with a drone strike and then go home that night and have dinner with their kids. And it really is taking a toll that I don't think many people a few years ago anticipated. They thought this was going to be cheap and easy without causing harm to U.S. troops, but clearly there's some harm being done.
Morris Davis, always a delight. Thanks so much for talking to us.
My pleasure.